Welcome to my video classes. Today's topic is units and dimensions. If you like my video, please don't forget to press the like button. Before going into our main topic, that is units and dimensions, I would like to start with physical quantity. Physical quantity means any quantity which can be measured directly or indirectly is called physical quantity. Here we are measuring the mass of the bag. So mass is a measurable quantity. Here a length of the wooden plank is measured. So length is a physical quantity. The same way we measure the time of an event. So time is a physical quantity. We also measure the speed of a moving car. So speed is a physical quantity. Not only just mass, length, time, speed, we have many physical quantities which we measure. So some of them are listed here. Now let's see the need for measurements. We all know that different parts of a car are manufactured at different places and then assembled in one factory. This is possible only due to the accurate and precise measurement. And it is only because of the accurate measurements that the various laws and principles have been verified experimentally in science. The measuring process. Let's measure the mass of these bananas. In order to measure the mass, we need a standard, or we can say we need a unit. So for the mass, this is the standard. Okay, 1 kilogram. Or not only just 1 kilogram, it can be 1 gram also. Should be some standard accepted by all. Okay, so let's measure. So we measure the mass with the help of the balance. Okay, so in this case the mass of the bananas is equal to 2 kilogram. So we write like this: the mass of the bananas is equal to 2 kilogram. It means the mass of the bananas is 2 times a kg. This is a kg, 1 kilogram. This is a standard used to measure the physical quantity, especially only the mass. Okay, so in this case the mass of these bananas is equal to 2 times a kilogram. So mass, that is the physical quantity, equal to some number 2 multiplied by the unit, that is the standard. So for a measuring, to measure any physical quantity, we need two things: one, the number; another one, the unit. Now let's see what is meant by unit. Unit is a standard adopted for the measurement of any physical quantity, and this standard should be agreed by all the countries. For example, we measure the mass. If the object is heavier, we measure in kilogram. If the object is lighter, we measure in grams. In the same way, to measure the mass, slugs and pounds are used in some countries. The same way, to measure the length, for example, to measure the distance between the two cities, we measure in kilometers. If it is small, like the dimensions of a room, we measure in meters. Much smaller, we go for centimeters. Some countries, instead of meters, centimeters, inches and foot are followed. Whereas we measure the time in seconds or minutes, hours, days, months, years, like this. So these all are called units. units are used to measure the physical quantities. We have mainly three systems of units that are used in different countries. CGS system, it is also called Gaussian system. SI system, that is System International. US customary system or British imperial system. So in CGS system, the unit of mass is gram, unit of length is centimeter, the time is measured in seconds. In the SI system, mass is measured in kilogram, length is measured in meters, time is in second. In the US customary system or the British imperial system, the pounds are used to measure the mass, whereas the length is measured in foot and the time is measured in second. Whereas the slug is used as a gravitational unit of mass in the US customary system. We have seen that different countries follows different system of units. In order to avoid the confusion between these units, for scientific and technical work, this SI system was introduced in the General Conference of Weights and Measures in 1960. The units in the SI system are grouped into two: the fundamental units and the derived units. Fundamental units are those units which are defined in an absolute way, and these units not depend on any other units. So here in the SI system, seven fundamental quantities were introduced, and the corresponding the units are for mass kilogram, length meter, time seconds, temperature Kelvin, electric current ampere, amount of substance mole, luminous intensity candela. Apart from these seven units, or you can say fundamental physical quantities, two more quantities were introduced, that is the plane angle and solid angle, and the units for the plane angle are angle as radian, whereas for the solid angle as steradian, and these two are called radian and steradian, okay, are called supplementary units. These are the fundamental units, these two are the supplementary units. Now let's see this chapter is very easy only when we memorize them. Only this chapter mostly memorizing, nothing special. Now let's see the derived units. Derived units are those units which depends on the fundamental units. So some of them are given here. For example, these are the derived physical quantities. Area. So the area, the SI units for this area are square meters, or we say it m power 2. So it consists of meter and meter. So these are depending on the fundamental units. Now density, the units for the density is kilogram per meter cube. So it consists of mixture of the fundamental units. Kilogram, this is the unit for the mass, and the meter is the unit for the length. So 3 times length is here. Okay, like this. Speed meter per second, acceleration meter per second square, force Newton. Okay, so actually for some physical quantities new units were introduced, like for the force Newton, work, joule, power, watt, frequency, hertz. Like this, some new units are given, and we can write these new units, special units, okay, so in terms of the base unit. For example, 1 Newton equal to 1 kilogram 1 meter per second square, like this. Similarly, joule can be written as kg meter square second power minus 2, like this. Hertz can be written as second inverse minus 1. So like this, for some of them we write in terms of the new unit, for some of them just in terms of the base units, okay, whatever it may be. Again, here we have to memorize this table. If we memorize this table, then only we can enjoy our next topics, coming topics. Our next topic is dimensions and dimensional analysis. Okay, so we will start with dimensions. Dimensions of a physical quantity. It is defined as simply the powers to which the fundamental units are raised to express that quantity. So at present, just to remember, dimensions means powers. Next one, dimensional formula. Dimensional formula is defined as the expression of the physical quantity in terms of its fundamental units with proper dimensions. Okay, no worries. So dimensional formula comes, remember, expression. Okay, you will understand more. Let's start. We already discussed the SI units, the SI system. In that we discussed the fundamental physical quantity and their corresponding SI units. Okay, and this part we already finished. Now we are going to introduce the new concept, that is the dimensional formula. It has its own applications, uses. So we will see what are the uses of these dimensions and dimensional formulas. Okay, so at present let's memorize the dimensions for the mass. So mass, very easy. Mass, the dimensional formula is m. Length, dimensional formula L. Time, T. Temperature, theta. Electric current, A. Amount of substance, N. Luminous intensity, J. So these all are the dimensional formulas. So we have to keep it in the square brackets. It's must. Okay. Now, even the special two more quantities, that is the plane angle and solid angles, they have the SI units, radian and steradian, but they don't have any dimensional formulas. And out of here 7, we will be focusing on most important the fundamental physical quantities in mechanics. These are mass, length and time. So just now we are going to play with these three, MLT. So very easy. Let's go. Now we are going to see the dimensions and dimensional formulas of some derived physical quantities. Derived. Okay, so derived physical quantities are those physical quantities which depend on the fundamental physical quantities. Okay, so for example, area is a derived physical quantity because it is derived from the basic quantity, that is the length. So length multiplied by length. So we have seen the dimensional formula of length, it is L. So for this one also L. So L multiplied by L, this will be L square. This is the dimensional formula kept in the bracket like this. So we can say that, okay, dimensions means we have to remember power. Dimensional formula means expression. This is the simple thing. So dimension means power. So look at here, L power 2. So we can say area has 2 dimensions in length. That's it. Whereas the dimensional formula for area is L square. Like this we can write, or we can also express in terms of M and MLT, like this also. So M power 0 L square T power 0. Okay, so dimensional formula. So here m power 0, it means the area does not depend on the mass. Even the area does not depend on the time. Okay, like this. So area has 0 dimension in mass, 2 dimensions in length, 0 dimension in time. Let's go for another derived physical quantity, that is volume. Volume can be written as length multiplied by length multiplied by length. So L into L into L. So L cube is the dimensional formula. Whereas, okay, this power 3, we can say that volume has 3 dimensions in length. It means to calculate the volume, we need 3 lengths. Okay, length is required 3 times, like this. So the dimensional formula is L cube, or in terms of MLTs we can write like this: m power 0 L cube t power 0. Some more quantities. For example, speed and velocity. Speed is distance over time, whereas the velocity is displacement over time. We will discuss what is distance and what is displacement afterwards. So at present, distance or displacement both are the lengths. So dimensional formula for the distance is L, for the time it is t. So this t goes up, it becomes t minus 1. So for the speed, Lt minus 1 is the dimensional formula. For the velocity also the same, Lt minus 1. Okay, now let's write the dimension. Dimension means just powers, that's it, power. So look at here, the speed has 1 here, 1 dimension in length, whereas minus 1 dimension in time, that's it, finish. Same thing for the velocity. We can also express like this also: m power 0 L power 1 t minus 1. Okay, next one more, acceleration. So the basic formula is velocity over time. Whatever we have calculated velocity, let's use the dimensional formula here, divided by time. This t goes up, t power minus 2. So tell me, what are the dimensions of acceleration? So whenever dimensions comes, look at the power. So 1 dimension in length minus 2 dimensions in time, that's it. So this thing is a dimensional formula, this complete expression. One more, force. Force, the formula is mass times acceleration. So mass means m, and acceleration, just now we got this part is taken here, it's clubbed. So this mlt minus 2. This force is very, very important physical quantity. So please remember this dimensional formula, mlt minus 2. So we can say that force has 1 dimension in mass, 1 dimension in length, minus 2 dimensions in time. Easy. Now these are some common physical quantities, you can say derived physical quantities, okay, with the formulas as well as SI units, and their dimensional formulas are given here. Okay, so density means mass over volume. Okay, in terms of the dimensional formula, m over L cube. So this L cube go up, L power minus 3. So what are the dimensions of density? Okay, density has 1 dimension in mass minus 3 dimensions in length. That's it. If you want to express in terms of t also, nothing, no t, time is not given, so 0 dimension in time, that's it. So similarly, work means the force multiplied by displacement, that is the distance. So we know the dimensional formula of force, that is mlt minus 2, multiply with one more length, so it becomes ml square t minus 2. So in this chapter, the only thing is we have to memorize the formulas. Okay, if we memorize the formulas, then only we can easily write this one, and afterwards also we have to memorize this part, the units, this all chapter, mostly this chapter is memorizing. Okay, let's go to the one more, strain. Strain means change in the length by original length, length by length simply. So length by length, so there is no SI unit for that, whereas there is no dimensions for this one. So this, like this, we have few quantities which don't have the SI units as well as the dimensional formulas. Okay, so one more important point, that is pure numbers like fractions 1 by 2, 3 by 4, okay, 1 2 3, like this, they don't have any dimensions. Okay, even the trigonometric functions, okay, sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, they don't have any dimensions. The exponential function also no dimension. The pi, which we use to calculate the area of the circle, pi r square, so this pi also has no dimensions. So if we remember these basic things, we can understand easily our coming topics. Yes, the uses of dimensional analysis. So we have total 4 uses. First use is to convert one system of unit into another system. Second one, to check the correctness, to check the validity of a physical equation. Third use of dimensional analysis is to find the dimensions of a constant in a physical relation. And the last one, to obtain or to derive a mathematical relation between various physical quantities. Okay, what we will do is we will do two numerical problems in each case, 2 2 2 2. Okay, total 8 numericals, the problems related to dimensional analysis. So let's start. Let's see the uses. That is the first use of dimensional analysis, that is to convert one system of units into another system. So let's start with the length of this steel rod. Say its length is 1 meter. We can also express this length in terms of centimeters also. So here length is a physical quantity, so 1 meter is in SI units, whereas 100 centimeter is in CGS. Okay, so length will not change, length remains the same whether we express in SI or in CGS. So how we express the physical quantity? Just with the help of the number and units, like this. If the number is small, units are bigger. If the number is bigger, the units are small, like this. Okay, now let's go to the general formula to convert one system of units into another system. So the physical quantity can be written as the number multiplied by the unit, n1 u1, which can be written as n2 u2 in another system, like this. So here we have to find the value of n2. So n2 can be written as n1 multiplied by u1 over u2. So u1 is the units in system 1, u2 the units in system 2. Now these units are subdivided into in terms of its base units like mass, length and time. Okay, here we take the help of the dimensional formula. Say the dimensional formula of this physical quantity is m power a, l power b, t power c. So whether the units are in one system or another system, the dimensions, that is the powers, remains the same. So m1, l1, t1 are the units in system 1. m2, l2, t2 are the units in system 2. So like this we divide it. So let's write the common power. So it becomes n2 equal to n1, m1 over m2 whole power a, l1 over l2 whole power b, t1 over t2 whole power c, like this. So this is the formula we are going to use to convert one system of units into another system. Okay, so here a, b, c are the dimensions of mass, length and time. You will understand more while doing the numerical problems. So do a problem, you will enjoy more. Okay, convert 10 Newton into dyne. So Newton is the SI unit of the force, whereas the dyne is the CGS unit of force. Force is the physical quantity is the same, force is the same. Okay, so let's see how we convert one system to another system. 10 Newton will be how much? Okay, but we will do the problem for 1 Newton first. Okay, so this is the formula we are going to use. Okay, so here the physical quantity is the force, so we need the dimensional formula of the force. So let's write the dimensional formula of force. This is mLT minus 2. Okay, it means the dimensions of the mass equal to 1, length is 1, time is minus 2, 1 1 minus 2, a value is 1, b value is 1, c value is minus 2. Okay, yes, this is the table. To convert one system of unit to another system, we need a table like this. Okay, so this is the force in SI unit. So M1 L1 T1, these are the units. Okay, we all know that the SI system means the mass is measured in kilogram, length is measured in meter, time is measured in seconds, only these three. Okay, now the CGS means mass is measured in gram, length is measured in centimeter, time is measured in the same seconds. Okay, M2 L2 T2 are written. Now N1, okay, actually N1 is, for this problem we have to take 10, but we will take as 1 first. So 1 Newton equal to how many dynes? Okay, so N2 we have to find. Okay, A, B, C values, dimensions are M power 1, 1, the C value is minus 2. Okay, so if we have the data enough, okay, only with these three we can solve the problem. These three, this is the formula to convert one system of unit to another system. Okay, this is the dimensional formula of the given quantity. We should know what is convert 10 Newton. So Newton means we should know. Okay, Newton is the SI unit of force, dyne is the CGS unit of force. Actually, to do these numerical problems, initially we have to memorize the tables first, then only we can enjoy. Okay, let's substitute the values. So N1 from the table, just picking up the values, N1 is 1, M1 equal to 1 kilogram, M2 is 1 gram, over A value is 1. Like this we have substituted all the values. Then we know the conversion. 1 kilogram, we have to bring them into the same units. Okay, so 1 kilo means 1000, so 1000 gram divided by 1 gram, like this. 1 meter to centimeter, 1 meter can be written as 100 centimeter. So second, no issues with this. Now cut the GG, centimeter. So what is left here? 100 power 1, 1000 power 1, 100 power 1, like this. Only these two are left. So remaining all the units are cancelled. Only the left is the numbers. So the N2 value we got it as 100,000. Okay, so we can write it as 10 power 5. Okay, so we got, so this is, we have calculated for N1 equal to 1. So 1 Newton equal to 10 power 5 dyne. So in the problem it is asking 10 Newton. So 10 Newton will be 10 multiplied by 10 power 5. Easy. We will do one more problem, you will enjoy more. So what to remember? This table, dimensional formula, and this formula. Let's go. Convert 5 joule into erg using the dimensional analysis. Okay, so here we should know the units. Joule is the SI unit of work, whereas the erg is the CGS unit of work. So we should have the idea. So for this we should memorize the tables. Okay, so after that we should go for that. Okay, so three things we need. Okay, dimensional formula of work we need. okay, and this is the dimensional formula of the work, m l square t minus 2. It means a value 1, a value 1, b value 2, c value minus 2. Okay, and this is the formula to convert one system of units into another system. Okay, we know, and then we need a table also in both the systems. Okay, SI system MLT, CGS system MLT, the units we need. Okay, SI system for the mass kilogram, length meter, time seconds. For the CGS, mass gram, length centimeter, time the same seconds. Okay, now he is asking the n1 value is this one. Okay, so n1 is 5, but we will be doing this problem by considering the first 1 joule. We calculate for 1 joule, so n1 equal to 1 we will take. Afterwards we will take the 5 joule. Okay, let's start. Everything is given here, just you put the values, we will get. Okay, so m1 like this, so substitutions over, and then we have to convert kilogram into the gram, meter to centimeter, 100, like this. So conversions are made, and then cancellation of the units, and then what is left here? 1000 is left here, here 100 square, so 100 square, this one total 7 zeros are here, 1 and 7 zeros. Okay, so n2 values we got. So what we can say, this is done for 1 joule. 1 joule equal to 10 power 7 ergs. So therefore 5 joules is given by simply multiply with 5 multiplied by 10 power 7 ergs. Simple. Now we are going to discuss the second use of the dimensional analysis, that is to check the correctness of the physical equation, given equation. In order to check the correctness, that is the validity of the given equation, we have to follow the 2 rules. Okay, the first rule is that 2 quantities having different dimensions cannot be added. Okay, 2 quantities having different dimensions cannot be subtracted. Okay, so this is the first rule, and the second rule is both sides of an equation must have the same dimensions. Okay, so this is called the principle of homogeneity of dimensions. Okay, so in order to check the validity of a physical equation, we should follow the principle of homogeneity. Okay, so if these 2 conditions are followed properly, then only we can say the given equation is correct or not. Okay, let's see what is mean by this one. First one, say for example here ml square t minus 2, ml square t minus 2. So we are adding the same dimensions, so same dimensions can be added. Okay, we get the same dimension. Same dimensions can be subtracted, we get the same dimension. Whereas look at here, this is very important. Okay, and one important point, if this minus this is added, subtracted, it won't be 0. Okay, remember that the same dimension we will get. This is not like normal algebra, this is the principle of homogeneity. Okay, now this is mt minus 2, this is ml square t minus 2. So it means 2 different dimensions we cannot add, cannot be added. 2 different things, different dimensions cannot be subtracted. We cannot write anything here, answer won't be there. Okay, this rule we have to follow. So clear? If you understand this rule, it's very easy to check the correctness of a physical equation. Check the correctness of the equation. S equal to ut plus half at square. Here these symbols have their usual meaning, like s is the distance, u is velocity, a is acceleration, t is time. So to do this problem, we should know the dimensional formulas of these quantities. Okay, so we have to memorize them. Okay, at present I am giving you the table here. Okay, from these table let's pick what we require. So we require these 4. Let's use. First let's write the equation, that is s equal to ut plus half at square, s equal to, okay, then s is the length, distance. Okay, so L equal to u is the velocity. Velocity means lt minus 1, lt minus 1. Okay, and then t is the time, plus half is a number, so this is just a number, we don't have any dimensional formula for this, so leave that. Then acceleration, a is acceleration, so here it is lt minus 2, and then multiply with t square is there, so this is square. Okay, t square, like this. Okay, so left hand side only one term, so we will leave the left hand side as it is. First we will solve the right hand side. So ut, this is one term, this is another term, so ut, this part we will solve this. So t minus 1, this is, these two will get cancelled, so the leftover part is L only, plus this is t minus 2, t plus 2. Okay, in the exponents we have studied that it become cancelled, t power 0, that is equal to 1. So the right hand side also, this part also, this term also L. So according to principle of homogeneity, the left hand side, okay, this side, the left hand side we have L, the right hand side we have, each term of the right hand side we have L and L. So all the dimensions in each term on the left hand side, on the right hand side are the same. Then we can say the given equation is dimensionally correct. Okay, so if we want we can write like this also, which is equal to L plus L in the dimensions, in terms of the dimension it become L only. So we can say that the dimensions on the right hand side, dimensions on the left hand side equal to the dimensions on right hand side. Therefore given equation is dimensionally correct. Dimensionally correct. This is the answer. Let's do one more problem, you will understand more. Check the dimensional consistency of the following equation. Fs equal to half mv square minus half mv square. So F is the force, S is the distance, V is final velocity, U is initial velocity, M is the mass. Okay, so this is the table. Let's take the help of this table. So okay, first let's take the equation Fs equal to half mv square minus half mu square. Okay, then force we need, these are the for these we need the dimensions. For the force ml t minus 2, left hand side mlt minus 2 multiplied by s is the distance, that is the length L. Okay, equal to half is the number. For number we don't have any dimensions. For again now focus on the m is m. V is the velocity. Velocity means lt minus 1, lt minus 1. So but square is there for everything, square minus this half is just a number, so we will leave it. So again m, okay, here I forgot the bracket, m. U is the velocity. Velocity means lt minus 1, again square. Okay, let's simplify this one. Left hand side, here L, so m L square t minus 2. This is on the left hand side. Now on the right hand side, this is m as it is. This square, first it will multiply with this and then with this one. So m L square t minus 2. minus m. This is also the same thing. The square will be multiplied to this one. So ml square t minus 2. So here let's see how many terms are there. On the left hand side we have one term. On the right hand side we have two terms. Okay, and in each term, both on the left hand side and right hand side, we have the same ml square t minus 2, ml square t minus 2, like this, ml square t minus 2. It means that we can directly write, okay, or we can also subtract these two and we can write the same answer, ml square t minus 2. Okay, so we write, simply we write, according to principle of homogeneity, the dimensions on the left hand side, is equal to the dimensions on right hand side. So therefore we can say that given equation is dimensionally correct. Easy. Now we are going to see the third use of dimensional analysis, that is to find the dimensions of a constant in a physical relation. For example, find the dimensions of gravitational constant. This is capital G, it has dimensions. So okay, so F equal to capital G m1 m2 over r square. Okay, so m is the mass, r is the distance, F is the force. We have to find the G. Very simple. Let's take the help of the table. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to rewrite the equation. So from this equation what we can write, G equal to, okay, I will write here, G equal to F r square over m1 m2. We can write like this. Okay, because we have to find the dimensional formula of G. Okay, now you take what we need. We need the force. Okay, F ml t minus 2 m. Okay, mlt minus 2. Okay, then multiplied by the r is the distance means l square over mass and mass. Okay, so this mass is cancelled. So what is left? This mass is left. If this mass goes up, it becomes m minus 1. In the dimensional formula we always write m first, then L1 L2, so L cube, this t minus 2. Okay, so that's it. This is the dimensional formula of this gravitational constant capital G. Okay, next problem. Now find the dimensional formula for this constant, Planck's constant, E equal to h nu. Given equation, we have to find the dimensional formula for h. Okay, where E is the energy, nu is the frequency. Okay, nu, this is some Greek symbol. Okay, nu. Okay, let's rewrite the equation. So we need the h. So h equal to, we can write it as h equal to E over the nu, frequency. So let's write the dimensional formula. So let's take the table. So here is the work or energy, both are the same dimensional formula. So m l square t minus 2, okay, divided by the frequency nu t minus 1, t minus 1. Okay, so it becomes what we can do, m will be as it is, L square. Okay, t minus 1 becomes t, so t minus 1, clear, minus 2 plus 1, so minus 1. This is the dimensional formula for the Planck's constant h. Easy. Again we have to memorize this table, we have to memorize, this is important table. Now we are moving towards the fourth use, that is to obtain or to derive a mathematical relation between various physical quantities. So this is the problem given. Let's do. Using the method of dimensions, obtain a mathematical expression for the centripetal force F acting on a particle of mass m moving with a velocity v in a circle of radius r. So here in this problem we have to obtain an expression for the force F, and this force is depending on three parameters: mass, velocity and the radius. Okay, so for these four things we need the dimensional formulas, so let's use the table. Okay, so here let's write the equation. F is directly proportional to, that is F is depending on first mass, then velocity, then radius r. So m, how many times we don't know, so power a, then v power b, then radius r power c, like this we can assume. Then okay, so let's remove this proportionality symbol by writing equal to and some constant, proportionality constant. This is our regular process: m power a, v power b, r power c. Now let's write the dimensions for everything. For the force, the dimension is m l t minus 2 over, for the force over, where k is a constant, dimensionless constant, so it's a number, so we don't have any dimensions for it, leave it. Then m is a mass, so simply m power a. V is velocity, velocity it's lt minus 1, lt minus 1 power b. Then r is the radius, radius means it's simply a length. Okay, so l power c. Okay, now we have to compare both the each fundamental unit, that is the dimensions, with both on the left hand side and right hand side. Okay, so left hand side we have the mass here. Okay, before that let's simplify. M power a, the L here, L power b, L power b, t power minus b, L power c, so which can be written as m power a, L, so L power b plus c, t power minus b. Now this is what we have on the right hand side. On the left hand side we have like this. Now compare the powers now. Okay, the left hand side m power nothing is there, 1, so here m power a, 1 equal to a, 1 equal to a. Now compare l power 1 equal to b plus c. Now here minus 2 equal to minus b, so cancel, so a equal to 1, b equal to 2. When b value is 2, then the c value equal to minus 1. After substituting the B value, so we will get the answer as C equal to minus 1. So again substitute all these values, A value, B value, C value in the equation here. A, B and the C values here. So we get our final answer as F equal to some constant K m power 1, so m only, okay, V power 2 mv square, whereas the r power minus 1, r power minus 1, okay, like this. This is equation over, but r power minus 1 we can write it down also. Yes, this is the final answer, like this. This is the derivation, mathematical derivation for the force, which is depending on mass, velocity and the radius, like this. One more. Using the method of dimensions, derive a mathematical relation for the kinetic energy possessed by a body which depends on mass, on its velocity, okay, speed. So here we have to derive the expression for kinetic energy 1. So this kinetic energy is depending on two things. One is the mass, second one the velocity. We don't know, m power A, velocity power B, like this we can write. Okay, now for these three we have to write the dimensions. Kinetic energy, whatever it may be, this is the energy. Energy formula ml square T minus 2. Okay, so instead of proportionality we can write it as equal to some constant K, m power A, V power B. Now substitute kinetic energy ml square T minus 2, okay, equal to K. M means the dimensional formula is m only, m power A. The velocity means LT minus 1, the velocity, whole power B, okay. Now, okay, so here K is a constant, so no need of this K. Again we are going to write in terms of the dimensional formulas. So we can rewrite as m power A, L power B, T power minus B. Now we compare the powers, okay. So left hand side MLT, right hand side MLT, okay. So 1 equal to A, 2 equal to, compare L this with this, 2 equal to B, third one minus 2 equal to minus B. So that's it. So B equal to 2, A equal to 1, B equal to 2, that's it. Therefore now use this formula, substitute kinetic energy equal to some constant K, m power A value is 1, the velocity B square. This is the formula, okay. Like this we derive a mathematical relation for the kinetic energy. Easy. Yes, these are the things we used. This is our last topic in this video. Let's start this topic with a question. What is the SI unit of distance? Yes, you are correct, meter. One more question. What is the distance between Muscat and Dubai in SI units? The answer is 450,000 meters. Is it so long to speak? Yes, even in real life, if we tell to our friend also, it's difficult to understand. So let's make it short, easy, convenient way. So we can write this last 3 digits as 10 power 3, and this 10 power 3 replace with a letter K. Okay, now we can say the distance between Muscat and Dubai as 450 kilometers. So this K is written in place of 10 power 3. So K means 10 power 3. So this K is called a prefix which is used before the unit. Let's go to one more example of radius of an hydrogen atom. Yes, very small, 0.000000000053 meters. So very difficult to understand as well as to speak. So let's make it in a simple and convenient manner. So just move this decimal place to the right. So 53 multiplied by 10 power minus 12 meters. So let's make it more simple by replacing this 10 power minus 12 into a letter. Okay, pico. So we take it as wherever 10 power minus 12 is there, we simply replace with this letter pico. So this pico is called a prefix which is used before the unit. So prefixes are the words, prefixes are the letters that are added before the units such as kilo, mega, giga, milli and so on. So this is the table. Again here we have to memorize this table. Okay, so not a difficult one, easy only. For example, for large numbers we use this part. Say for example 10 power 3. For 10 power 3 we use the prefix kilo or symbol simply k, small k. Okay, for 10 power 6 mega or capital M, like this 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So kilo, mega, giga, tera, peta, like this, or the same way but in for the small numbers, decimal places. So we use this one, milli, micro, nano, pico, femto. So again the same thing, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 in minus. So again I'm very sorry, in this chapter we have to memorize so many things. Okay, so I hope you understood this topic. All the best.